Hello and welcome to the third ever episode of Two Men and a Bell, which also happens to be our first ever filmed episode of Two Men and a Bell. Sadly, I don't have my co-host Joseph with me today. He's off becoming a journalist, but nevertheless we power on. So today's topic is the wacky world of conspiracy theories, and I do have a panel of guests to help me talk about this one. So starting from the far left, we have Maya, Ria, Victoria, Emma and Kenza. So we'll start off with a bit more of a tame conspiracy theory, one that might not be too controversial. Victoria, is Elvis still alive?
Well, from the facts, we know that he died on August 16th, 1977. However, people have been saying that he was seen after apparently he died. Basically, he was going to an airport and he apparently bought a ticket to go on a holiday or get away from everyone for the name of John Burroughs, which is the name that he always uses for hotels and whenever he needs to just make sure that he's not around fans. And people have been saying that it might be him because he wants to get away from the famous life and just have a normal life. Also, on his gravestone, it said his middle name is misspelled because apparently the middle name is his twin's middle name. So people have been saying that maybe his twin actually died and he went away. There was also a photo taken on his 82nd birthday that is seen that there's a picture of his bodyguard with him on when everyone is surrounded in his grave, and that's kind of it, really.
So I'd like to open this one up to the floor. You can ask Victoria questions and she might be able to provide the answers or give your own points of view. But I'd actually like to start one off. I didn't know Elvis had a twin. Can you expand on that one?
Well, it says in one of the articles that apparently his twin's name is Jess Garon Presley. So that was really confusing for me because the facts there didn't really mention a lot about him, just the fact that he had that apparent twin that people have been saying that it exists.
Any of you guys want to ask a question or make a point to the conspiracy theory?
The fact about it is he was found dead, so, and his DNA and all that would have been found with him, so how you're meant to say that that's not him?
But then they could just be like fabricating it all.
Yeah, good point.
Good point.
I don't know, I have it. I like the full, like, oh, he's got a twin.
No.
What was it, an identical twin?
It depends if it was an identical twin or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because
He was found dead. That it said that he was found dead?
I in his home.
Unless,
in,
yeah,
California
yeah.
or something.
Yeah. Was it not in a toilet?
Well,
Yes.
the story is that he was found on the toilet because
Yeah.
he had a heart attack or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's so sad.
I personally don't believe this theory, although there was one time it was said that there was this guy who came out just after Elvis's death and he performed in a mask and he really sounded like Elvis to other people, so that's why people were like, oh, maybe he's still alive. But then there's
But then you just need to look at Las Vegas and in the present day it's filled with Elvis impersonators. Some of them will sound like Elvis.
yeah,
So-
that's why I don't
but
actually.
then didn't he have like a few concerts, bring out a few songs and then kind of disappeared?
Yeah,
Because
that's where
It's
all the
obviously
mafia
because-
stuff, the figures come from, because they think that he was like involved with mafia, and that's kind of like how he wanted to escape it, so he kind of fabricated his own death. But I don't actually personally believe it.
I've not heard about the whole mafia situation. But
It is entirely possible when you look at the climate of the time that Elvis was about. The mafia ruled the world, basically.
yeah.
Every country had a mafia, just about. So it is entirely possible that he did have to escape the mafia. Anything else we'd like to add or ask about this
Yes.
theory?
I think it's possible that people are maybe just looking for money in this case.
Yes.
Get those clicks up. Get
It's all about the
your
money these days, isn't it?
get your
Yeah.
articles sponsored by a couple of adverts.
Yeah.
That's you rolling in it. So, now we've discussed that one, and you've got whiteboards underneath your clipboards. So to explain to the viewers what we're going to do is we're going to have a quick vote to decide whether or not this conspiracy theory is true. That's the fact, Elvis isn't actually dead, or false, Elvis died the way we were told. So if you would all like to cast your votes just now with a yes, no, true, false, anything of the sort, and I'll take a look and see which side has won. So, are we all ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, flip your boards please. I believe that is an overwhelming false. 5 votes for false, none for true. So I think journalism has decided that Elvis is dead. There's no changing that one. So, I said that we were starting off with maybe not too controversial a topic. Let's get controversial. Emma, you have the big one. Madeleine McCann. Were the parents involved? Did she just get kidnapped? What happened? Tell us more.
Well, I think that the parents did kill her because there's a lot of evidence to show that they did kill her, because they're both doctors, so they would know how to dispose of a body, they would know how to kill a person without getting caught. They drugged the children before they left, and it could have just really been an accident and they've not known that they've killed her, or I don't know really, but it's a whole conspiracy against it, do you not think?
Do you want to explain that in a bit more? Obviously it's a conspiracy,
Well,
we wouldn't be talking about it today.
Well, obviously, the parents were questioned about Madeleine's disappearance, and they didn't answer a lot of the questions. They didn't answer, I think it was over 40 something questions that they didn't answer about her disappearance, where she went, or anything. The parents, when they came back to the hotel room to see the children, and they realised that Madeleine was missing, their first reaction was, they've took her. They've took her. They didn't say anything of the sort of, where's Madeleine? And the fact that the mum left the children still in the hotel room after realising that Madeleine had disappeared was a big shock for everybody, because obviously your instinct would be to look after your other children. You wouldn't leave them in a hotel room where the window was open, the doors were open, so it'd be easy access for anybody to get in.
Yeah.
So,
Is that you got your present? Shall we open it up? So, thanks for presenting your evidence. And again, we're going to open up to the floor for you all to contribute to the discussion. But what bugs me is that there was 3 kids in that house, I believe. Why only take one? Why not take the youngest, the set of twins, or even one of the twins? But leave, instead of taking the eldest girl and leaving the 2 twins there. Especially when you've went to all that effort to break in, to try and hide your tracks. That seems curious to me. Can you explain that a bit more?
well, obviously every abduction case is different, and it's usually the older child that is taken, because there's 2 twins and they've obviously been younger, and if they've been taking sleeping pills, then maybe they've been still asleep and Madeleine's woke up or something's happened and someone's came in and took her. But that's not my theory. My theory is that the parents accidentally killed her, and that she just overdosed on sleeping pills, and the parents tried to cover their tracks because they're doctors and they know what they're doing. They're really intelligent, so they know everything about how to kill and dispose of a body, and they're basically in it for the money and stuff. I think it's pretty clear.
I think it's worth it. See, like, they were asked so many questions, and if you're asked questions about your missing child, you'd want to answer it instead of sitting and saying no comment to every single one. You'd want to at least know what happened to your child. You want to at least explain what happened, what you've seen, what you've like experienced, and it's strange to me that they answered no comment to most of these questions, and they wanted to know what. Did they want to know what happened to her? Or
They're obviously guilty as sin because they've not answered the questions. They've made no attempt to answer any of the questions or anything. So it's obviously, if your daughter goes missing, you're going to feel the need to find out everything. But obviously they're guilty in other ways, as they left their children unattended in a hotel room with the door open.
Is she still alive?
No, I don't think she is.
Definitely not.
no?
Also, if it took all of that
Nice
money,
thing.
all of these searches to go into Madeleine McCann and her disappearance, obviously the current thing on the Madeleine McCann case is it's been reopened.
Yeah, they
Again.
spent 12
Again.
million
Uh-huh.
taxpayers' money, like recently last year.
When they all know if she's not been found by now, it's very clear
Yeah,
that
she's
she's
dead.
most likely dead.
Definitely, 'cause I just don't get it. Like, if they, how long was the case for? It was like
Well, it's basically been open since
been
she
like-
disappeared.
Exactly. And you would at least find her by now, but she's not. And I know there's all these sightings, but that's just you
it's
get that with
rubbish.
people like people that die. Like Elvis Presley, like that. There was sightings of him apparently, but that's just
I'd like to bring in Maya. Have you got any points of view? You've been quite quiet on this one.
Well, when you ask a question like that, like talking about someone's daughter, and the mother and the father's going to be like, well, they're not going to completely answer all the questions because they're going to be distraught, they're going to have breakdowns, you can't do that firsthand. But like maybe as the years go on, they'll be able to come back and then answer all the questions. So it's like,
Well, there weren't really evidence that anyone that came in and kidnapped her. So I also believe that she was probably drugged and the parents didn't know what to do, because who would come in, be like, she's missing, and just walk out and then come back later on and be like, oh no, she's actually missing. Like, really?
See, the thing with that is, basically, there's evidence that obviously they drugged their children, they gave them sleeping pills, and then they decided to go out with the other family, but the other family hid their children with them. It's not like they like left them in the hotel room. And also, obviously, they left all the doors open so they could get back in without a key and without like disturbing the kids. So that's why there's no like forced entry or anything like that. And also, the whole fact what you were saying like about being abducted and stuff. Normally, it's like because there was two twins, they were like didn't want to take the twins because that was like double the hassle, and also because they were like younger, they're like babies, so they would make more noise. That was like one theory. And then there was another theory that I had read about somewhere, and it was like how she was like kidnapped, and there was like sightings of her being carried about by a man dressed in all black, and it was apparently bald, I think it was, and he was like walking around the premises like
It also fits the profile of her dad.
yeah, and yeah,
And
it's like the dad.
to political people as well.
But
Yeah.
that was actually a man like carrying his daughter. Like a
Exactly.
guy actually
Yeah.
came out and said it was
But that's
Him carrying
the fact that like people are saying that they're not guilty. Like, how are they not guilty? They're guilty of something at least, because for start off, they they drugged their children illegally. They abused their power as doctors. They shouldn't have the legal aspect of being like a doctor in a hospital. You know, and you're like looking after other people, like you're treating people, you're operating on people, and you're going to give your child like sleeping pills because you want to go out and enjoy yourself on a holiday.
Right, so that gives me two questions to ask all of you just before we move on to the final vote. First of all, do you think it was planned? Yes or no?
Yes.
I don't think it was like planned,
Mhm.
but I think it was like they knew what they were doing, like kind of thing.
So like in the aftermath of
Yeah.
they knew what they were doing. Okay, Maya, planned?
no, I don't think it was planned.
Ria?
well, it wasn't planned, they just knew they were just good at what they were doing, weren't they?
Victoria, planned?
Yeah, it was planned.
And what Kenza said about them continue to be doctors, that gives us another question. Should they be struck off the medical register?
100%.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
I think so.
Who?
as well.
Why wouldn't?
So now let's reach for the whiteboards. I'm going to add in a third option for this one because of its nature, and that's not decided. If you're not one way or the other, you can't really make up your mind. Just write NA for not applicable. So if we write down our answers quickly, we will see what we all think. There is the bell, just in time to signal the end of that specific debate. So let's show our boards in 3, 2, 1. Turn them round. So we have 4 for it happened and 1 for not decided, which is fair enough. Maya, you said not decided. What puts you on the fence?
It's possible that she could have been kidnapped, but it's highly possible that the parents had something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like it's possible for both sides. So like, yeah.
Emma, this is your topic of expertise. You put yes, it was the parents. Why?
Obviously, I've gave all my facts
Mhm.
to support this. The parents obviously did do it because there's so much evidence against them, it's unbelievable. I don't know how the parents haven't been charged with murder or manslaughter yet, but it's disgraceful how they haven't been.
Ken?
I think, right, of course, I don't think it was planned because, I don't know, like, there wasn't much construction towards it being planned. Also, like, no one's intentionally going to kill their child, you know what I mean, on holiday. But definitely, I think the parents did it. Like, yeah, like Emma said, there's so much evidence against them, and also, I don't know, there's no evidence of it being like a break-in, an abduction, like none of like any sex trafficking and stuff or anything like that. So like, I don't know, there's clear evidence and no one's been prosecuted for it.
So that concludes the Madeleine McCann topic, and we will now move on to our next one. So, staying on controversy as well as some high-level Britishness, let's talk about the royal family. Ria, Princess Diana, was she assassinated or was it just a fatal accident that night? Tell us more.
So she died on the 31st of August 1997, and there's many theories towards this, to be honest, because people just, you know. So according to Mohammed Al-Fayed, how do you say his name?
Fayad.
Fayad, there you go. The reason that she was killed was that Diana had become pregnant with his son's child, and he also said that the royal family could not accept that an Egyptian Muslim could eventually be the stepfather of the King of England. And however, there was a lot of speculation of her being pregnant before she was killed. So in her post-mortem, there was no sign of pregnancy at all. But many also believe that the doctors let her die on purpose by not treating her correctly and stopping her from recovering and most of that revolves around her treatment at the scene of the crash. Right, so there's another one that there was a plan for her to be killed already, and she kind of had a feeling about it because there was stuff going on with her car, and she was really concerned about her safety. And also, the reason there was a plan is they think that it was because Charles, because of the full cheating thing, and Charles couldn't really remarry unless she was dead, to be honest, or unless he was a widow. And yeah, there's a lot of conspiracy theories round about it, including that obviously her bodyguard died in a car crash as well, so that obviously gave her more concerns, more worried about her safety. And there's also a lot about the US government, the paparazzi using unsafe conditions causing the crash. There's loads, and yeah. Also I think that the Queen had something to do with it. There's my theory.
Fair enough.
Well, it's about the royal family that I think. The Queen mostly, because I just don't think she's a nice woman.
How dare you say
The
that
tea
about
was
Lizzie?
the tea was served.
Right. Anyway, let's open it up to the floor. Maya, do you have anything to ask Ria about Diana's death? What do you think?
I'm not too sure, to be honest.
Mhm.
I haven't really noticed anything.
Mhm.
I don't really know anything about it. Not much.
Kids?
Basically, what I know from it is that she was like already had a suspicion that she was like on the bad, like she was in the bad books kind of thing,
Mhm.
because she went against like everything that the Queen kind of stood for. You know, she was like all about other people. She like helped charities. She went to like Africa and stuff as well, and you know, like the Queen was like, you could see that the like it's not normal like behaviour for the royal family, if you know what I mean. And like just certain rules that she didn't abide by, like with her youngest son. I genuinely forgot his name. Sorry.
It's not Harry.
I think it's Harry.
Yeah, Harry. Yeah. Well, that she didn't like something about like she breastfed him or something, and like the royal family, they don't, it's like a rule that they just don't do that. But I don't know. She did that and she went against like some rules. And like, you know, it was some controversy and stuff in the news, and she just didn't really care. But then there was also like the next theory that that she like her and Charles were already like split up basically, but in private life. But obviously to the public it was like they were still like a thing, like they were still married. Their relationship was alright, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, and then she was actually going out with a tennis player, I think it was.
Yeah, relationship problems.
cheat?
She was like cheating, but he was
Problems.
also like going out with another woman as well, and like it was just a whole
It's
controversy.
just
And
some
then,
drama in it.
yeah, like both of them cheating on each other, and you're like, okay, well, I don't really know what to do about it. But yeah, and the whole thing that she was like supposedly pregnant and stuff with the tennis player's like
Obviously, that was
son,
proven
but
false.
it was false.
She was a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
Is that about the blank?
And yeah, about the whole like her accident and stuff. Obviously, it happened like under a bridge. Like none of the paparazzi seen it. There's no pictures of it like actually happening.
Yeah.
It's only like the aftermath, like when they came out the bridge and like the car was on fire and it was tumbled over and all that stuff. And it was like speculated that it's like it is planned, and that's kind of why it was planned, or it's like dodgy because you don't see anything. There's no even any warning at the start. Like it's just weird because you don't ever see it under the bridge or through the bridge. It's only like aftermath pictures.
Did Philip have something to do with it? What do we all think?
Yeah.
Maya?
Yeah,
Philip.
definitely, because
I'm not too sure.
Okay.
I'm not done.
I
Right,
don't
Fair enough.
I don't even know who
I
that
think
is.
I think he probably did, because from what I heard, like what I read, what I heard, I don't think he was the biggest fan of Diana, and he was quite horrible towards her. Like, I don't know, he's a strange man, a strange one. I think he's been like that with quite a lot of the royal family. Like, he's quite shuts a lot of them out, including Diana, because he was just a horrible man to her.
Yeah. Victoria? Philip?
I'm not actually too sure. Like, just like Maya, I'm not really like don't know much to actually give my own opinion about.
Emma? Philip?
I think him and the Queen had something to do with it. Obviously, if Diana wasn't following this stereotypical princess role, then I think they would have just killed her off, to be honest.
It's kind of like a TV show. But yeah,
Yeah.
Prince
He's in
Philip,
the pudding, obviously.
basically, I mean, he is quite a like controversial man anyway. But yeah, it was definitely something to do with like Prince Philip and the Queen and Charles. No one really like properly liked him as the royal family.
Okay, so I'm now once again going to ask you to vote. Same procedure as last time. Yes, no, any.
Yes,
Make your
about
decision.
the Queen.
About just the whole theory in itself. Was she? Yes, she was killed. No, it was a fatal accident. Or not decided. So, do we all have a decision?
Yeah.
Let's turn the boards in 3, 2, 1, go. Fair enough.
100% true,
Everyone
mate.
seems to believe that Princess Diana was killed, having looked at our topic.
Did I say it was 100% true, mate?
Yes, you did. So we're going to run this next theory a little bit differently, as opposed to one person presents, then the panel asks questions. We're just going to go to the whole panel. I'll bring you all in one by one to give your point of view on it. So, Apollo 11, most famous step ever taken by a human being. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, as Neil Armstrong put his foot on the moon. But was it the moon? Were they
A block
fake?
of cheese.
Was it in some studio in Area 51? Let's see what you all have to think. Ria, you seem quite enthusiastic about this one. Let's start off with
I
you.
really don't, but okay.
Was it fake? Or did it actually
No,
happen?
It wasn't fake. I don't know, how would it be fake?
Short and sweet. Fair enough. Kenza, I remember a discussion up in journalism. You're very enthusiastic about this one.
Listen,
Please do tell us more.
I like my conspiracy theories, right? So obviously
If you
I'm
don't
gonna
think-
do some research on it, and
So-
I think it was fake, or at least I don't think we've not been to the moon.
Mhm.
I think we have been to the moon. There's like whatever we have technology and stuff nowadays, but if you look at the evidence, the pictures and the videos that you see now, it's all kind of like fabricated. And also, if you look at some documentaries or actual discussions from the official people at NASA and stuff like that, and the government, they do talk about the fact that they lost footage from the actual moon landing, and they had to recreate it,
Never mind, sorry.
and they had to recreate everything, and they actually did have to recreate some specific parts.
Mhm.
Also, there's pictures and videos of when they put the American flag on the moon, it's waving. There is zero gravity in space. It should not be moving.
Can I just come in there because I'm afraid you've got your science wrong?
Oh.
The moon,
Just be.
the moon does have
Skill.
gravity. It is significantly weaker than the Earth's. I'll talk physics for a minute. The Earth's got a gravitational pull of 9.8 meters per second towards the what's called core. The moon has got 1.6 meters per second squared, so that ability of acceleration, if you drop something, it accelerate 1.6 meters per second squared. So there is gravity,
Okay, well.
and there is also a very faint atmosphere on the moon. It isn't strong enough, like the Earth, to produce strong winds to blow away the footprints and stuff that are on the moon. However, it could be strong enough to create a flag flutter.
It definitely.
Just
Not
thought
at the speed the flag
I
is
would,
going.
what you call it, educate you on your physics there.
Okay, thanks for educating my physics.
Skilled
But
boy.
the videos, if you're talking, okay, the wind's not strong enough to blow away a footprint, then it's definitely not strong enough to flag in the air, no. It's dust particles, it can't blow away dust particles, but it can blow a flag, not that.
What about the footage, and you could see the studio lights and that?
Oh yeah,
and
you can also, in pictures, the astronauts in their helmets, you can see the reflection of studio lights in their helmet.
Where's the
You
light
can
gonna
also
be in
see
the
the
moon?
strings attached to
Well.
their shoulders.
Where's the strings got to be in the moon?
The reflection for the strings, you can see
Can't
it
get me
all.
to speak.
Is that
If I was wearing sunglasses right now with these studio lights, or if you just look there, you can see the studio lights.
Mhm.
That's basically your astronaut's helmet. Your shield.
Well, this
You
is
can
Yeah,
see
I
it.
know.
It's
Thank you, yeah.
visible that it's
I think that
I would be
It was
interested to
staged.
see these photos because I can't say I've seen them personally. If
I'll show you them
you're
later.
able to bring me them later, I'd be more than happy to give them a look.
I think that the moon landing did happen, but I think the footage for it is all fake.
Yeah.
Because it's very
Definitely
clear that it's
what
fake.
they've shown the public and what's on the internet. But obviously, it just seems like there's evidence. You can see the evidence. It's like if you're watching a movie and you've seen them, with all their studio lights, in the movie.
Maybe they wanted a wee photo shoot on the moon.
Exactly.
So
get
our
some
producer has actually just put up a little
Schooled kids
sign
again.
to me,
Trust
saying
me.
how did they have cameras on the moon? Obviously, they took them with them. There was a camera on the what you call Apollo landing spacecraft to get the shot of him coming down the steps, and they had disposable cameras in the spacecraft with them. They did take cameras, but our producer is actually asking if they can come in. So I'd like to invite you into the shot. No, you're coming in. If you're going to talk, you're coming into the shot to give her point of view. Come on in, Morgan.
Okay.
My point is, when was it was like in the 1970s, wasn't it? Whenever it was?
1969.
Well, cameras were massive. How and heavy. How did they get them up into the space shuttle?
And how did the technology work?
Aye,
out
how
there?
did the technology work out in space? That's what I want to know.
Uh-huh.
I'm
back to
it was
normal.
fake.
Okay. The cameras worked on the same way they would work on Earth. The technology is technology. I could take my Samsung up to the moon, and it would I'd still be able to take photos, take videos, use all my apps on the moon. Just because I'm on a different planetoid doesn't mean it's not going to work. I maybe wouldn't be able to pick up a signal, so I wouldn't be able to phone, which you call Earth, but the cameras would still work.
This is not
Yeah,
good.
the cameras would still work. But that's what I'm saying, like there's like evidence, there's photographic evidence in the photo that it was a staged picture.
Okay.
Also, just there's a rock in one of the pictures.
Right.
Or in
Really?
most of the pictures,
Oh
right?
wow!
It's a
Whoa.
rock,
Oh my god.
and it's got a big massive C carved into it. Like, you know how when you have stage props and stuff like that,
Mhm.
they have, lettering or numbering
Mhm.
for where they're supposed to be placed. Big massive C, like I don't really think there's like wee ET extraterrestrial like thing walking about, calling about, slithering about, carving C's
Okay,
into
do not
stuff. So
Slithering about.
I mean, it's quite hard to
Up there.
fake that. No, it's quite hard to make that
Victoria,
real.
it's coming to you. Moon landing. True, false, maybe. Who knows? Tell us more.
Well, I believe the moon landing is true, and they apparently did multiple times. But I believe the footage is fake because of how many evidence you've shown that a moon landing, the footage itself has been faked because they couldn't get the footage from the moon. So there's like back then people have said that it's not possible. It has been so long ago that they couldn't actually do it. That they would have spent so much money to just make the footage. But I believe they had all the things they needed just to make that scene so that people would believe that they went to the moon because they did. But if they didn't have footage, who would believe them?
Maya?
Yeah.
Did we go to the moon?
No, I don't believe we did. Because there was, like, if there's actual pictures being, like, all the strings and you can see the camera and you see the rock, I mean, it's not really going to be believable. You know what I mean? It's like, no.
Yep. Just one last point from me and then we'll do a vote. I believe that we did go to the moon, as was evident. But if we didn't launch the spacecraft to the moon, etc., etc., why would they go to so much effort to fake Apollo 13? Houston, we have a problem is probably one of the most iconic moments from the Apollo program. What's the point in going to all that effort to fake all the moon landings to then, even if they did try it for real, have it mess up, but continue to publicise that? If they were doing it, then they wouldn't publicise that. They'd sweep Apollo 13 under the carpet, pretend it didn't happen.
Well,
So
I'm not specifically talking about Apollo. I'm only talking about the very first moon landing.
Apollo 11, yeah.
Yeah, Apollo 11. I'm only talking about that being fake because, well, the evidence of it being fake. I don't think they went as early as they're saying they did.
Okay.
But obviously, our technology is advanced right now. Like, way more than it is since the 60s. So I'm not saying we've never been to the moon, obviously. I mean, there's clear evidence that you have now. But Apollo 11, the very first time we landed on the moon, I think it was, fake until a few years later, just because of the whole thing between America and Russia, and there was a whole thing behind that as well. But I
Okay.
won't go into it.
Fair enough. Let's vote. Yes, no, not applicable. So, yes is for it was fake,
But if
no,
you didn't know
it was
what-
real.
We're filming this on the moon.
Yes, we're filming this on the moon, yes.
we
So,
say-
Yeah,
yes,
we're
it
in
was
space
fake.
right
No, it was real and not applicable. You can't decide. Let's turn the boards in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Right.
What did you say? Not sure. Oh my god, I'm on the moon.
Journalism has spoken, much
It's from
to my
Victorious, if you didn't know.
much to my disappointment that they believe the moon landing was fake.
It was.
We'll need to have a follow-up discussion on Friday about this one.
Oh, that's
I
not.
think
But-
custard cream comes everywhere.
Yeah.
We don't want to
So-
make Mr. Brown mad.
Let's
Can I just jump in?
Yeah.
Leave some comments down below if you want to add in, so you can say you can have
I
your own
say
say in
that.
it.
that's usually our ending spiel. Thanks for
That's what
covering
I
that
said.
now,
No
Morgan.
problem.
Comment down below
Um,
if it's real or fake that we're on the moon right now.
So now let's return to some
I know. It's good.
high levels of controversy for, in particular, our American viewers. Kenza, 9/11. Was it Bush? Was it Al Qaeda? Was it someone completely different?
It was me.
Tell us more.
I said it was me.
So basically, I think 9/11 was an inside job. There's evidence that it just was really like.
Do you want to tell us some of the
Why did you
evidence?
give me sugar?
Right, okay, so first of all, the videos that is everywhere basically. There's news videos, like live stuff, homemade videos, whatever, pictures, all that good stuff. You know, it was clear that it wasn't just like like a terrorist attack. Like the two towers, they both went down simultaneously, kind of thing. Well, not at the same time, but you know what I mean. As in like a demolition.
Mhm.
When a demolition happens with two buildings or a building in general, it goes straight down because there's already been bombs planted
Yeah.
on certain floors for it to not interrupt like other buildings around it, and that's what happened with like the towers. Whereas if a massive like 747 like plane, Boeing plane or whatever, if that went inside this school, the school definitely wouldn't just be going down in a tower. Like it wouldn't be stacking.
lopsided.
Yeah, you would have like some kind of like domino effect.
Mhm.
It definitely would not just be going straight down.
Mhm.
Also, so that's like the whole bomb theory, and like it was already like the bombs were already placed. Also, people already heard bombs before the plane even crashed the building, like hit the buildings.
Mhm.
People have said that and all that in the news. Also, I've just been informed that there's like people from like friends, like close friends or whatever, have been to the memorial and have said that there is like footage and like sound clips of the actual explosions going off before the plane hitting any of the buildings, so you can actually hear that. It's in hundreds of like videos on the internet as well, so it's quite easily like that's like not faked. I don't know, there's not really much evidence that that's faked or anything. Also, the whole thing about the live footage from all the news clips, just before the plane hits, or like it's kind of hard to explain. It's like you see the footage for the news, and it's like the plane and the towers, and it's like the plane hits, and then all the screens go black on the news, and then you see like the explosion after it. So you don't actually see the plane hit the building on the live news footage. And also in videos online, it's kind of like the aeroplanes are like digital. They've been digitally added in, because first of all, a plane's not going to go straight through these big steel beams that these towers are made out of. There's tests before, like a few years before that anyway, on a normal plane going at normal speed. It would be like how you seen it in the footage, and that the plane hits the wall, a concrete wall with steel beams, and the plane is obliterated. Doesn't go through the wall, nothing like it just disintegrates and like blows up.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that the airplanes in the videos, they go straight through the building, but they don't come out the other side. Yeah.
Exactly.
So in like tests and stuff they've done before, and like, you know, previous experiments of planes, the tip of the plane, like the nose of the plane, normally doesn't come off. It doesn't survive any crashes or anything like that. And it like if it went through a building, a tower for a start off, and it came out the other side, which it shouldn't have, it shouldn't be intact with the plane. And in all the videos it was, it came out the other side, just the tip, the nose, just the nose.
Mhm.
And it was still intact. When, you know, that's very rare. It shouldn't have done that. That's why people are thinking, oh, it's digital, like airplanes and stuff. And also, you can kind of see it glitch before it actually goes into like come close to the towers actually. And one of the videos, you can see like the plane come in, and it's like you can see it, and that the tower's like here. It's quite far away. And if you stop and pause the video, you see like the aeroplane's wing, it glitches and it like disappears. So it's half a wing. And then, you know, it goes back and it's right into like the tower.
Mhm.
But in all the videos you don't actually really see it kind of hit the tower, like I was saying in the live videos and the news. And any other videos that you see in like people for like the streets, they're videoing it, and it's as soon as the plane hits, they all turn away for the tower, and then they turn back and all you can see is the explosion. So people think, you know, that's edited and it's like digital planes. You know, that was kind of like fake.
I'm just a little bit concerned about time. This will need to be our final topic of the day, sadly. And we're going to need to cut this a little short because lunchtime's coming up for us. Just to let you know, it was a Boeing 767 which hit the towers. So it was 2 Boeing 767s.
Okay,
Right, I would like to open up the floor just really quickly, and then we'll get a vote and wrap up. So, one thing I'd like to say though, you were saying that there's never actually footage of the planes hitting the towers. Having done extensive research on 9/11 myself, I did modern studies, so I had to know quite a bit of background on terrorism. There are pictures that exist of the plane half into the tower.
Yeah.
So that clearly shows the plane flying into the tower.
But in all the videos you don't see it.
There are also live video casts from which call it the news that have been uploaded to YouTube and stuff that show the plane flying straight into the tower, and then immediately following the explosion there's no cut to black or whatever that you were saying. So the planes did hit the tower. Also the flight data shows that the plane sped up. They weren't at normal speed. The hijackers increased the throttle before they hit the plane to get that bit of extra momentum to penetrate the towers.
Yeah.
And I know obviously there's a lot of, jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams. Again, there's been experiments on this to debunk the 9/11 conspiracies. Due to the weakening of the steel beams from the collision, the jet fuel did then successfully melt the steel beams. The steel beams snapped and melted, causing a collapse. So that also debunks the jet fuel.
But how would they know that? Because at the end, when they were obviously taking away all the steel and all the concrete and stuff from the buildings, they were all melted. They never went through any analysing through the what actually happened. It was all just kind of melted, and that was it.
And
I mean, I'm not saying there wasn't any planes, because I don't know, it's just kind of hard to believe. But some of the footage obviously does look quite edited.
yeah,
Can I just add a wee bit in there? Basically, the planes did hit, obviously, because it could be faked, like the footage and stuff like that, but the phone calls and stuff that they made to their families and the text messages, that was real. Like the emotional and just the whole thing with that was real. You can't fake that.
yeah, there's recordings from on board the aircraft, cabin crew contacting air traffic control, the military and things, saying, look, we've been hijacked, we're about to hit a tower,
But I don't think
please
it's
send
a
help.
whole conspiracy against the government, and I think the government definitely did have something to do with it.
I'd like to just bring in this side of the table quickly before we do a vote. We're running short on time.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's not really easy for it to be faked, like the plane run. So I don't know about that, but yeah, the phone calls and stuff.
Yeah. Maya?
Yeah, I'm not too sure about any of it really.
Victoria? Colin?
Honestly, I have nothing to add because everything was spoken about.
Let's vote. Yes, it was fake. No, it was real.
Absolutely.
And just show as soon as you've written down. No, uncertain. No, no. Yes. We have a vote that no, it was a real event. 9/11 happened as it was said. So, thank you all for watching today's filmed podcast. I'd like to thank the panel for giving up their time to join us today. We're still deciding what our next topic might be. We'll let you know as soon as we've got an announcement. Please do post in the comments what you would like to see or when what you think on each topic. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Hail, hail. Bye. Bye.